I had physical force to make me do something I didn't want to do. But once he asked me for something I wasn't ready to give him. It was the first time I told him no, and the first time a man forced me. I was only 13. There without him asking me for sex. He couldn't look at me without seeing me naked. We weren't a couple because he didn't see a girlfriend anymore. He just saw a body, all his for the taking. But I was young and naive. I remembered how I would shut up and just take it, just to make them happy. I loved him so much, and you don't say no to love.
To rape, women are expected to accept a level of bad behavior from men. Title IX says we don't have to.
Title IX originally was conceived, everybody thought it was about sports teams and making sure there were athletic opportunities for women on campus. And I think we've come to understand over time that it's really more about equity in experience, equity in opportunity, and an environment that's as free as you can make it from behaviors that thwart individual persistence and progress. So as long as we have environments, institutional environments where people are singled out or thwarted on the basis of some kind of either their gender or their ethnicity or their sexual orientation or their gender identification, we'll have a need for Title IX.
When I was 18, I was casually dating a young man. I was sick, I was running a fever, and lived alone with my mom, and my mom wanted somebody to come be with me because she had to be out of town. I woke up with him on top of me, and didn't know what was happening, but the weird thing was, it was like I was looking down on my body. I was looking down on my body, and just really 2 seconds maybe, but I was looking down on the whole scene, and it was so strange. And then I was back in my body, and I grabbed his hips with my legs, with my feet, and I pushed him off me. And I was screaming, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Get off of me." And he gathered up his stuff and fled my home. And I just lay there in shock.
Let's pretend women lie about assault to get men in trouble. Men attack women because they expect to get away with it. Sexual frustration is not a woman's problem to deal with. Discomfort doesn't weigh heavier than trauma.
In my life, have felt so numb. The experience really, it was pushed so far in the back of my mind that I can't even express like how I felt. I just kind of blacked out. I don't really remember much.
And what happens with trauma is it's like a continual state of the stress state, the fight or flight or freeze. And in rape, it's very often the freeze state that they get broken out of.
We were chatting, and he started fooling around as if we were making out. And he took off my pants. Now, this was something I was totally not in agreement with. I felt that we were not in a place where this was appropriate and there was someone else present. He refused to give my pants back and demanded that I have sex with him. So I decided to just allow him to have sex with me. After that, the game changed. Now I was told that I had to have sex with this other person who was present. Part of the reason why I never spoke to anyone about it was because I was deeply embarrassed and felt as if no one would actually do anything about it if I'd shared my story with anyone.
In order to find out if people do know how to help, the class conducted interviews across campus.
Victims out there that don't have the courage to speak up about like getting raped, so he's saying like don't shame the person, actually do something about it.
Pants, and I still remember the smell. It was awful. It was like he hadn't taken a shower in a week, and I lost any sensation, any sexual sensation, any attraction that I had for him, however small, in that moment. And I didn't feel safe.
Making sure that it's following the Title IX regulations, that it's reported to campus safety, it's going to the Abused Persons Unit, APU, and then it's going through the student conduct process, and also providing any support to the students.
He wanted me to give him a hand job, and I thought that's what I have to do in order to get out of this dorm, in order to make it home. I can do that. It's something that I've done before. It's nothing new, and it won't cost me much. He started to push me down, not hard, but I was laying at this point, and he started to give me oral sex. I had made it clear at the beginning of this encounter that unless there were condoms involved, I didn't want any mouth and genitals to mix. I had expressed that. I wanted to have protected sex. But he continued, and I expressed, no, I don't want to do this. Please stop. And I can still hear it. I can still hear him say, it looks like you're enjoying it. And that made me very confused, because there were these physical sensations that did feel good, but my mental space wasn't there. I had changed my mind, and I didn't want to do that with this individual.
We are all responsible for holding men accountable for criminal and creepy behavior. Onondaga students aren't fooled by the myths around sexual assault and harassment. Everybody seemed to know the right answer.
Or physical conduct of a sexual nature harassment, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
True. Dirty jokes and language may be considered sexual harassment, true or false?
True. True.
True. Is sexual harassment limited to physical conduct, yes or no?
No. False.
No.
False.
If we know so much, why do we do so little?
I think campus, as well as all campuses, can do a much better job with communication, promoting communication so that students do know what their rights are, what the resources are that are available. So I think that's kind of a general statement. Then there's the more typical things that you would expect, such as making sure that lighting is appropriate and that the campus itself is a safe environment. I think increasing the level of awareness is probably the best thing that can do. We certainly don't want to promote fear or paranoia, but at the same time, recognize that any one of us at any time could be vulnerable. So being aware of your surroundings, being aware of the general circumstances in which, if you're involved in an incident, you can reach out for help and ask for help before it's too late.
In make the Title IX goals be achieved, it takes everyone, those bystanders again. You know, you want to be in a world where you don't have assaults to then put through a particular system. We've built these systems because that's not the world we live in.
We have trained all of our student athletes, student officers, RAs, to make sure that they are trained so that if a student reports to them. And we've also done some programming in the beginning of the semester, and we will continue next semester to make sure that campus and our students are aware.
I think if there continues to be more activities, projects, and student-initiated efforts, we can really make a difference here at OCC.
I've never come forward about these incidents to any authority. I've never tried to get these men arrested or sought any legal action. Because when I tell friends, family, and even strangers my story, they all tell me that I should have fought harder. But I fight every day. I fight to educate my friends and the people around me about what assault is. I fight to look men in the eyes, because where I see men, I see monsters. I fight so much to feel hopeful that one day a shower will actually make me feel clean. I fight so much because they tried to take the fight out of me. And I want all women to know, all people to know, that nobody should ever have that power over you.
Then when he wound up in a class with me, I had to go for help. I didn't know how to take the class, but I also didn't want to leave and run away. And the professor had nothing to offer. The professor said, drop the class, do what you got to do, but there's nothing I can do to help you. And so I decided I was going to stay in that class, and it was painful every day, and I did it every day, because I couldn't let that beat me.
If something like that happens, it's not your fault. Do not blame yourself.
He didn't have the right to take something from me. I had the right to change my mind.
You aren't on TV. Words won't ruin the moment. If you say yes and hear yes, you will know everything's okay and will be okay afterward. My voice counts and your voice counts. When I say yes, I will say it loudly so there will be no mistake. Yes means yes.
My name is Zaya, and it's not my fault.
My name's Christine, and I'm no longer ashamed.
I am Toni, and I am no longer embarrassed.
My name is Aaron, and I'm no longer ashamed.
Many women attend parties on the buddy system as if going into battle. But this is a battle we all must fight. I will not remain silent. I will not protect you like an accomplice. Don't support media or friends who would turn assault into comedy. Take a stand for yourself and for the person next to you. Never be afraid to tell your truth. For information, visit these websites.